What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily Rewind. This is where we go back a week and give you all of your tech news in one single video. And if you're interested in the Note 10, Note 10 Plus, we have a lot of information on that, what to expect with the phone spec-wise. We also have some information on the display sizes. We have information on the new iPhone 12 and their how much storage to expect and all of those, and so much more. A lot of information coming out about a lot of devices. So check out this week. Let me know what your favorite news story is of the week is, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the iPhone 12, 12 Pro, 12 Pro Max, and the story comes from John Prosser. I will put his video linked down below if you want to check that out. He's been leaking tons and tons of Apple information, and today is no different. And today he leaked information on the storage amounts for the iPhone 12 lineup. So first of all, with the 5.4 iPhone Pro, you're going to be able to get 128 or 256 gigabytes of storage. The 6.1 and 6.7, which the 6.1 is the iPhone 12, the 6.7 is the Pro Max, will have the ability to get 128, 256, or 512 storage options. All four models are expected to feature OLED displays, 5G support, and a faster A14 chip. Also, don't forget better cameras, bigger batteries. So this year should be a really good year. Again, obviously, almost every year is, for Apple phones. So if you're looking to get an Apple phone, you have something to look forward to come this September. The next two stories are about the Note 20 and Note 20 Plus. Now remember, there will not be a Note 20 Ultra version of the phone this year. If you're, hopefully it doesn't make you too unhappy or too sad, whatever. And the information comes from Ross Young, who's leaked out a ton of information thus far on the Galaxy Fold 2 and the Note 20 phones. And this is more information about the Note 20 and Note 20 Plus. So let's jump over to his tweet. First is about the Note 20 display leak. It says Note 20 will grow from 6.3 inches on the Note 10, to 6.42 inches on the Note 20. Resolution will increase slightly to 2345 by 1084 with a 404 pixels per inch, 19:9 aspect ratio, 120 hertz with LTPO. And LTPO, had to look this up, low temperature polycrystalline oxide, and it's with OLED displays. I guess it's a fairly newer technology, so that's a good thing, I guess. If obviously newer is usually better. And then he says variable refresh, so lower power with 120 hertz, great for always on mode. And then lastly, on to the Note 20 Plus display leak. Says Note 20 Plus will grow from 6.8 inches to 6.87 inches. Resolution will increase to 3096 by 1444, resulting in a 497 ppi, 19:9 aspect ratio. It will also have 120 hertz with LTPO, lowest power implementation of 120 hertz due to variable refresh rate. So two key takeaways for me anyway about the S20 Ultra. First of all, remember the S20 Ultra has a 6.9 inch display, and on the Note 20 Plus has a 6.87 inch display, so slightly smaller, but you could more or less say the same display size. A little bit surprised by that. I thought that the Note 20 Plus or Ultra, whatever they ended up coming out with, would end up having a larger display. It doesn't. It's basically the same, slightly smaller. A little bit of a disappointment for me. I always want a bigger and bigger display. The other part is that the Note 20 Plus will have 120 hertz at 2K plus, WQHD plus, and we've already talked about that it would. I've talked about that in a previous story. Now the S20 Ultra, S20 Plus can't do that because of the way I guess it's the power optimization to the display or on the display. It's not able to do that, but the Note 20 Plus can. So there you guys go. Note 20 1080p plus, Note 20 Plus, 2K plus, both at 120 hertz regardless. Let's get into the tech news now. We have a story that potentially might disappoint you, and we have a story that's very, very intriguing as well. Let's get to the disappointing news first. Now this tweet comes from Ross Young, who coincidentally is also in my video that I released earlier this morning, and also will be tomorrow as well. I did an interview with him about the Galaxy Fold 2 and the Note 20. And his tweet today says, Note 20 update, while the Note 20 Plus remains LTPO and 120 Hertz, the Note 20 will be LTPS and 60 Hertz. Makes sense since LTPO costs more and should appear first in premium models. You can do 120 Hertz with LTPS, but it consumes a lot of power. LTPO is the best implementation of 120 Hertz. Ice Universe responded to him in that same tweet, said Note 20 does not support 120 Hertz? Question mark. Ross Young replied, Note 20 Plus supports 120 Hertz, but Samsung confirmed to us that Note 20 does not. So if you were thinking about getting the Note 20 and you wanted 120 Hertz display, it doesn't look like it's going to happen at this point. Could they come out with 1080p 120 Hertz? Maybe, but per his tweet, it doesn't sound like they're even gonna have that. Now the Note 20 Plus should, by all indications, have 2K plus 120 Hertz, the full bam shabam, everything combined into that big bad boy baby at 6.87 inches, which if you haven't seen yesterday's story, watch that. And the last story of the day is the intriguing one, the Galaxy Fold Lite, or whatever they end up calling this. I don't know if they'll call it Lite or not, but it's a ultra budget for foldables anyway, not ultra budget phone overall, but an ultra budget foldable phone that potentially looks to be coming out for Samsung. He's saying, I have some info on the Galaxy Fold Lite. This is Max Weinbeck, who says the Galaxy Fold Lite will have 4G, so no 5G, 256 gigabytes of storage. It'll come in mirror black and mirror purple. Display has no UTG, which is ultra thin glass, so it sounds like it's probably gonna be more of a plastic thing that's on there, or it'll, I don't know, maybe have a thicker glass. Will be equipped with a mix of 2018, 19, and 20 parts. Outside will probably have a smaller display, not like on Fold, but more like the Z Flip. And then continuing on in another tweet, available internationally, no 5G support, Snapdragon 865, which is the newest processor out, built out of aluminum and glass on outside, $1099 price tag. He then goes on to say this could change as info tends to change quickly, especially when it's the first you're hearing about a device. As long as this has a beautiful display and it opens up to a large display, just like the other Galaxy Folds have, this could be a big winner at $1099 if that price does come out to be true. With a Snapdragon 865, I assume it's probably gonna have 8 gigs of RAM instead of 12 or 16, especially if they're really trying to get this price low. 256 gigabytes of storage. It might still be on UFS 2.1 instead of 3.0. You don't know that. Maybe we'll have to hopefully find that information out. The cameras might be, you know, the cameras that were on the S10 or the Note 10, which again, weren't that bad. So if you mix some of those parts and get to a lower price tag, but have an ultra, you know, big display, that's a great thing for a lot of people. And it's especially with people trying to save money, but still get the best device that they can. Now you might wonder, what's the release date for this? And it looks like Ross Young has kind of answered it based off a tweet that he was asked for. And you can see right here, it says, how many versions of the Fold are going to be unveiled? And Ross Young says rumors of a second version for Black Friday. Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving here in America, which will be November 27th of 2020. And he continues saying, but volume will be limited, may or not have UTG, which Max Weinbeck said it won't. Removing UTG would get to a lower price. So there you guys go. Very intriguing, exciting news for people that want the Galaxy Fold, but maybe don't want to spend $17, $18, $19, $2,000. They want to spend maybe about $1,000, a little over $1,000 to get a really revolutionary device. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip. Now, remember, this phone originally came out in LTE version, and it only came out in the colors of black and purple. Well, they're coming out with a 5G version, and we've talked about this weeks ago at that point, but we didn't know about a new exclusive color coming out. So they will have in the 5G version, they'll also have the black and the purple. But the new color, get ready for this. I don't know if anyone would want this color. Brown. Brown, brown, brown. A brown colored phone. I can't imagine most people would want a brown colored phone. What about you guys? Are you gonna want a brown colored Galaxy Z Flip? I'm assuming it's gonna have kind of a mirrory looking finish on the back of this phone. And to make things a little bit crazier, the Galaxy Fold 2 is also still supposed to have a brown variant. I can't imagine I would want a brown colored phone. I don't know, it does not sound appetizing. Not that I'm eating the phone, but still, I just don't get too excited about that color. And the last story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy Fold Special Edition. Now remember, we've been kind of talking about this over the last couple of days from Ross Young and Max Weinbeck. And this is the phone that's supposed to be $1099. It's supposed to only have 4G, 256 gigabytes of storage, come in mirror black and mirror purple. The display's not gonna have ultra thin glass. It's gonna be a mixture of 2019, 18, and 20 parts, and just not overall the newest and latest and greatest of everything. And there was rumors also, as you can see right here, that it's supposed to have a Snapdragon 865 and all that kind of stuff. Well, it looks like, based off a tweet from Ross Young, who put out this yesterday, to clear out Galaxy Fold 1 inventory before the Galaxy Fold 2 is launched, Samsung will announce the Galaxy Fold Special Edition in July at a price around $1099. Quantities will be limited to 55,000 worldwide. It should look just like the Galaxy Fold 1. Saki Tech goes there and asks, fantastic, will the Special Edition Fold 1 have anything special over the Galaxy Fold 1? So it sounds like this Special Edition Galaxy Fold is a real device. $1099, July release date, which is just a couple of months at this point, release date, away from where we are now. Now, is it going to have different components inside? Ross Young is saying no, but yesterday we're hearing different things from Max Weinbeck. I'm hoping Max Weinbeck is right in terms of like having a newer processor and maybe some other things that are newer versus the Galaxy Fold 1. We're gonna have to wait and see, especially if it's a special edition. You think they would change something about it, but besides just making it a special edition. So as more information comes out, I will definitely let you guys know, but this thing seems to be trickling out information every day or every other day with more things to know. So let's get into the tech news. We've got two stories today. The first one is about the Pixel 4a. Remember, this phone is going to be their mid-range budget Pixel phone that should be out around the first week or mid-June. So next month you're looking at the release of this phone, and it looks like XDA developers got their hands on some benchmarks. And to break it all down, more or less, it looks like that it basically, the processor anyway, which is going to end up being a Snapdragon 730, and this is going to come with 6 gigabytes of RAM. It basically looks like it's going to compete very well against a Google Pixel 3 XL phone, which had a Snapdragon 845. So this, in a lot of ways, either meets or slightly loses, and in some cases will lose fairly large, especially on the GFX bench 1440p score. It got trumped on that. But regardless, most of these tests, it performs very, very close to the Snapdragon 845. So you gotta say that even though this is a phone from 2020, it is a budget phone. It's most likely, I would guess, especially with Apple's phone being $399, I would guess it's probably gonna come out at about $399. That's a great processor. The Snapdragon 845 performed very, very well. You should be able to game on it, maybe not, ultra high or high settings, but probably medium settings, maybe high settings, but most likely if you're playing like Fortnite or something, it's probably gonna run on medium settings is my guess. But anyways, very, very well performing Snapdragon 730 processor in the new Pixel 4a. And the last story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 and 20 Plus. Now, if you haven't seen this already, I did do an interview with Ross Young. He's been leaking out a lot of information about the Note 20 and Note 20 Plus. And I've been lucky enough, as of today, SamMobile.com and also Android Authority have posted articles about my interview with him. This is really cool and like very awesome news for me. It's not for me. I don't think this has ever happened where these websites that I go to all the time are actually writing about stuff that I put out. So that's like an amazing thing. I'll link those stories down below if you want to read them. But regardless, I kind of wanted to give you a recap of what he said in the interview and basically what to expect with the Galaxy Note 20 Plus. So some of the stuff that he went on to mention is that the Note 20 Plus could be the first phone to feature Qualcomm's second generation 3D Sonic Max fingerprint sensor. And what he meant by that is instead of you having this little itty bitty thing to put your fingerprint on to unlock the screen, it's actually going to be a lot bigger on there so that you don't have to just get it in the right spot. You can basically put it anywhere down there, maybe 3 times the size of it, and really get a more accurate reading of your fingerprint. Because right now, I don't love the fingerprint sensor under this. I don't know, it's just not good. It's not as good as the ones that are physical on the phone, but if they get it so a larger area it can cover, then that's much, much better. He mentioned that the punch hole position remains unchanged. So the cutout for the camera in the top, in the middle, is going to still be there. And that's not a bad thing to me. It doesn't bother me at all, but if it bothers you, it's still gonna be there for the Note 20, Note 20 Plus. He mentioned that the sizes of the display are gonna be 6.42 inches for the Galaxy Note 20 and 6.87 inches on the Note 20 Plus. So a slightly smaller display than the 6.9-inch Galaxy S20 Ultra. Galaxy Note 20 series will also top out at 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now currently with the S20, S20 Plus, you get 12 gigabytes of RAM. If you get the Ultra version of the Galaxy S20 Ultra, which has 512 gigabytes of storage, also comes with 16 gigabytes of RAM. So a powerhouse of a phone, and he's saying that the Note 20, Note 20 Plus should all by default come with 16 gigabytes of RAM. And then lastly, two phones to have large batteries ranging somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 milliamps. Galaxy S20 Ultra, also a 5,000 milliamp battery. So the battery size, very, very competitive with what you get or should get with the Note 20 Plus. So at that point, guys, it's a phone that I think a lot of people want, especially from my audience. I know a lot of you look forward to having the S Pen. He also mentioned he didn't go into full detail, but he also mentioned a more upgraded S Pen experience. So we'll have to wait and see how that pans out, but looking to be, obviously a nice little upgrade versus maybe last year. Not a huge upgrade, but still a nice little incremental upgrade at the very least. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the Google Pixel 4a. We're starting to get some more information about this phone. Now, it should come out sometime in June, probably sometime between the first week of June and maybe probably like the second or third week of June. That should probably be the launch/release date of the phone. And also now we're hearing about the price of the phone, and it's looking to undercut the iPhone SE 2020. Now this information comes from Stephen Hall, who's the managing editor of 9 to 5 Google. He's gone on to say in a tweet he heard the Pixel 4a is going to be $349. That undercuts the iPhone SE 2020 by $50 because that starts off at $399. He also said his source suggests that the $349 price will be for the 128 gigabyte model. Now, just to remember some of the specs that are in this phone, you're looking at 128 gigs of storage, full HD display with a hole punch, 6 gigabytes of RAM, 3,000 milliamp battery, pixel level camera, and a fingerprint reader. And remember, we talked about performance. It performs on the level of a Pixel 3 XL, which had a Snapdragon 845. So this is looking like a beast of a budget phone, if that's even a thing to say, if it's even able to be said, a beast of a budget phone. Last story of the day is about a phone I am looking super forward to, and it is the Microsoft Duo phone. And we have some information about it spec-wise that a little bit disappointing, but it could also help in the price department of what this phone is going to cost. Now, this information comes from Windows Central. You can see right from the headline, Surface Duo specs, 11 megapixel camera, Snapdragon 855, 6 gigs of RAM, and more. And also remember, just looking at this photo here, both displays are gonna be 5.6-inch displays. So this is gonna run Android 10. Like I said earlier, it's gonna have two 5.6-inch 4:3 aspect ratio displays with resolution of 1800 by 1350, 401 ppi, and it's going to be AMOLED displays. It's going to have a Snapdragon 855, so it's going to have last year's processor, 6 gigabytes of RAM, which is kind of low. Storage wise, you're looking at 64 or 256 gigs of storage. No expandable storage, so if you're looking for micro SD slots to add more storage, you're not going to have that here. Camera has 11 megapixel camera with a f2.0 aperture. Fingerprint sensor. Ports, you're gonna have one USB-C port and a nano slim slot. Battery, 3460 milliamp battery, and it offers Surface Pen support. So you'll be able to use their pen to write and draw and control this phone. The other big takeaway is that it's not gonna have NFC and it's not going to have wireless charging, at least from these initial rumors that are leaking out right now. Maybe it'll change, but if it doesn't, just that's what to expect. Now, what I take from this is the specs are a little low RAM. Storage-wise is comfortable at 256. I think that's fairly competitive. The Snapdragon 855, it is last year's processor, but it's still going to be able to run games very well. It's going to be able to run through the operating system very, very well. I fully expect this device to be very, very fast. Microsoft, if you love them, you hate them, as long as you have a decent Windows machine, you know, whatever $500 Windows machine, it's gonna run great. So their software optimization with Android, I fully expect to be really, really good. Price-wise, there's no price yet, but I would guess, I'd have to guess, with those two 5.6 inch, you know, 1080p type displays, I would expect it to be about $1,000. I mean, I think that's, maybe it'll be more because it's a completely new device, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's that, or maybe even a little less, just because the specs are a little on the lesser side. Let's get into the tech news. I only have one story today. It's about the Galaxy S20, S20 Plus, or S20 Ultra, and it is a really, really cool hack. It's a really simple hack. It's a hack you can do everything on your phone. You don't have to go deep diving and figure something out. It's very, very simple. I'm gonna walk you through the whole process. Super, super easy. So what it's going to do, if you remember, 120 hertz on your phone is a mode that only works on 1080p. Now that has not changed. It's still gonna be 120 hertz at 1080p, but what does change is the battery power mode. So if you remember with the S20 series of phones with the 120 hertz, on battery optimization, device care, and then go into battery, you can only set it to optimize. If you choose anything else, whether it be high performance or medium power saving or maximum power saving, it drops either the resolution, increases the resolution, or in some cases, it'll just drop off the 60 hertz, drop it down to 60 hertz. But you cannot do anything but 120 hertz 1080p when you're on optimized. I have a little hack for you. I'm gonna walk you through it right now. Okay, so the first thing that you wanna do is swipe down from the top, click on the little gear in the top right to go to settings. Then you want to go down until you see advanced features, tap on that. You'll see Bixby routines. Make sure it's turned on over to the right. So just press that so it's turned on. Once you see that it's on, tap on the word Bixby routines. Then what you want to do at the top right, hit the plus sign. Hit the plus sign in the middle of the screen. At the very, very bottom where it says manual start button tapped, tap that. Hit next in the bottom right. Hit the plus in the middle of the screen. And you're looking for medium power saving. So look for that on here. And there you go. It's under the category of functions. You'll see medium power savings. Tap that. And then it says, so you won't be interrupted. This action will wait until the screen is off unless the condition for this action is launching an app. In that case, this action can cause open apps to restart, close, or work incorrectly. You want to turn that on or off. So hit done at the bottom right there. Hit done again in the bottom right. And you want to give it a name. So we'll just call it medium power saving, but you can call it whatever you want. Actually, let's call it 120 medium power saving and hit done. And then it's gonna ask if we wanna add it to our home screen. Let's do that, let's hit add. And now when we hit our home button, we now have a 120 medium power saving on here. And just to show you that it works, I'm gonna swipe down from the top, go to settings. Then I'm gonna go into display. You'll see motion smoothness is still at 120 hertz. And if I go down to device care, battery, you'll see power mode is now set to medium power saving. So there you guys go, 120 hertz with medium power savings. Might help you with overheating, it's gonna help you with battery life overall, and you'll still be able to keep that 1080p, 120 hertz display all at the same time. How awesome is that? Let's get into the tech news. First and only story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy S20, S20 Plus, and S20 Ultra, and the deals they have going on currently for this phone. It's going to be Memorial Day here in the United States, and that's a big day for companies to put out sales, and Samsung is no different. So let's go over the deals that they have going on right now, especially if you have a cracked Galaxy S10, Note 10 phone, how much they're gonna give for you. Right smack dab on their page here, once you click on the S20, which I'll link down below, it shows you they have 3 deals. The first one is you can get up to $500 instant credit with a trade-in. So they have, that's a really good deal. It's not the best deal they have ever offered, but it's good for at this point in time. Next, they have the future-proof your Galaxy, get 50% back. So what that does is you'll get 50% back when you return your phone in good condition within 24 months. You'll get half of your purchase price back. So if you pay, I don't know, $1,500 for the phone, you'll get basically $750 back, even if it's 23 months from now. So it's a really, really good deal, especially for the people that are gonna keep their phones a very, very long time. The last deal is bundle for productivity and wellness. This is a great bundle. So you get the phone, obviously, but you also get a pair of Galaxy Bud Pluses in any color that you want. You get a Watch Active 2, which is their newest active smartwatch, and you get a wireless charger dual pad when you buy a 128 gigabyte Galaxy S20 Ultra 5G. Now, going back into the $500 trade-in offer, if your phone is cracked and you have like a S10, S10 Plus, Note 10, Note 10 Plus, you know, any of those phones in that range, you will get $350 back if it's cracked anywhere on the display, on the back, wherever. You will get up to $350 back. So that's a great deal. Usually it's down to like whatever, 100, 200 bucks, somewhere in there. So you're getting extra money for that cracked display. But yeah, there's some good deals for everybody. There's deals for people that are looking for free gifts, that they give amazing free gifts. There's people that don't want to maybe upgrade all the time. You can get, when you're ready, you can send the phone back in and get up to $750 back. And there's people that have, you know, want to trade in their phones, want to get the maximum amount of value for it, or maybe even have a cracked display and get a maximum amount of value for it. So very good deals going on right now. Everything is linked down below for you to take advantage of that. If you want to get the Galaxy S20, S20 Plus, or S20 Ultra, it's a very good phone overall, I'd have to say, and I think most people would say that. It's expensive, but it's still a really good phone. Thanks for watching. Question of the day is, if you get your stimulus money, there's rumors of another $1,200 coming here in America, what are you gonna buy? Or are you just gonna save it? I think we're planning on getting a new bed. Our bed right now is hurting my back, so I think we're gonna get a new bed. Let me know what you guys are gonna buy. See you guys down the road. Peace.